Well, folks, we are going to be talking about change, but before that, let's take a quick look again at the polling question. We just asked you, so poll in and let us know what you would change given the choice. Well, we've got A, B, or C. If you're given
the choice, okay?
Okay. Well, choice, of course, being the fact that you may not want it anymore, lah. Okay. First of all, A, my job. Would you change your job? B, your girl or boyfriend. C, your car or your handphone. This one, I think, don't have to give you a choice. You will find a way to change it.
Yes, you will.
So type H on the Miracle 2 followed by your choice of A, B, or C. Set it down to 32776. Change is what we're talking about today with Mushida Said, our speaker, motivator, and trainer. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome back, Mushida.
Thank you.
You look as energetic.
Oh, I love seeing you guys. You're always so happy on Monday mornings. Yes.
Okay, especially today, Terence likes his change, his new change.
My new change.
He changes.
Change my football team life, so I'm going to have to stick with
changes.
it. Okay, first of all, what do we need to know about this constant thing called change?
Okay, when it comes to change, a lot of people will be like, it's a feeling of discomfort. I'm not comfortable with, let's say, changing office or changing house or changing jobs. That initial sense of fear or a little bit of resistance to change, right? But if you know that we are always in a constant state of change, all of us. If you look at your picture when you were small as a baby compared to now, you see, hey, I look so different, of course. We are always changing. Our cells are always changing. Like I always said, 2 seconds ago, before we shared anything or I talked to you just now, I was a different person, but because of whatever you have shared with me, whatever experience you have shared with me just now, and then we had a conversation, I have changed as well, right? So we are always in a process of change, all right? And human beings are always resistant to change because we are creatures of habit. All right, just do a little demo here. Just cross your arms, all right? You just cross your arms. Now I want you to just undo and recross again, but with the arms on the other side.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you will feel a little bit of discomfort.
Yeah.
Which arm did I put in first, If you practice that, of course, it's fine. But if I say, okay, now change, you will feel that initial sense of discomfort because we are so used to, habits, of what we are used to. Yeah. So when it comes to change, right, last week I addressed the topic on dreams, dreams and goals. Most people, they have their dreams and their goals, and sometimes they even write it down or they plan like crazy. They have their diary all set up. Okay, beginning of the year, it's always beginning of the year, New Year resolutions. They say, okay, I'm going to change this about my life, whatever I'm not comfortable with, I want to change it. So they have all that planned out. And when it comes to the crunch, when the time when you are supposed to execute it, you don't feel comfortable. Or maybe not right time now. We wait first, Right. So that is what people always go through, in terms of when it comes to change. Now, it's good to have dreams and goals, but if you don't go through that process of change towards the action that you're going to take, it becomes wishful thinking, right? It becomes just dreams and wishful thinking without actually manifesting the change at all, right? So when it comes to change, it is important to be able to recognize some resistance there, be able to go through, be able to take risks, because sometimes you will face risks when you want to move to a change, in your life. Expect the risk. Expect sometimes you do make mistakes, but mistakes is never equals to failure, right? So if you do make mistakes, learn from it and move on, right?
But Mushida, some people say that don't just change for the sake of changing. Now, your take on that?
I agree.
To what we just said.
Change is, first of all, you have to be dissatisfied with whatever current situation. You recognize there's dissatisfaction.
And you have to justify that as well.
A lot of times people they recognize that dissatisfaction, but they still remain in this thing called comfort zone. Comfort zone and change and what's the other thing is being at peace is totally all different things. Some people, they have accomplished everything in their life. They are at peace. They are very balanced. Right now, that one is a different state of emotion or being, totally, right? Change, when someone needs to make a change, is when you feel dissatisfied with your current situation, whatever it is, whether it is in your job, your handphone, or your car, anything, that state of dissatisfaction, you recognize that, all right? And still, you want to make a move towards the change that you want to go to. Okay, this slide that I like to use is always on change is Barack Obama, because he advocates change, we can believe in it.
Right.
And this was something that, you know, he obviously touched the hearts of Americans during his election time. And look, from where you were before, that was him in about 20 years ago, and where he is now is totally different. You know, so it does not matter where you come from, it's where you are right now. Let's say you are dissatisfied with certain aspects of your life and you want to move forward to be who you want to be, right? You create that change.
And who is
okay?
this?
And this is Valerie Bertinelli. She was dissatisfied with her weight as well.
Right.
So she made an intention, and you know, being famous, she did it publicly, so the whole world knew about it. And she made that change and transition to where she took action to where she wanted to go. All right. And this slide that I always share with my students, and as well as myself, when I first wanted to change myself because I was unhappy with who I was at one time, you know, my situation, my environment, and I said I have to change. So this is something that I have, this flip chart that I place on my wall every time, you know, when I go into my house, I go into my bedroom, I also have this big flip chart. It says, for things to change, first, I must change. Most of the time, sometimes we hear people saying, for things to change, that person must change. If only she would change, our office would be very good. You know, so people always focus on giving the energy or the power to another person. You know, they don't want to change themselves. Or sometimes they use the term like, for things to change, one must change. One must change, you are isolating yourself from the situation. When you say, for things to change, first, I must change, first of all, you will feel a sense of power, a sense of control, a sense of responsibility, and you move on to that process wherever you want to go. All right?
Mushida, just now you were saying, you know, you change as well, right? I mean, especially because you're dissatisfied with what happened to you. So I presume that there were like forces, you know, that keep on playing, you know, I mean, resurfacing around us that make, or sometimes even force us to change.
Yeah.
Maybe,
yes.
Yeah,
The first thing is recognize the need for change. Dissatisfaction with something. All right. You are dissatisfied, so you know you want to change something about that aspect. You know, whatever it is, lah. Right. So you say, okay, I need to change on that, and you have a vision of where you want to go. What that change is going to be, you know. For example, if you want to change your car, you already visualize what kind of car, for example, right? For me, it was more like I wanted to change myself, maybe change my environment, you know, the industry I was in, for example.
My question is, can the environment sort of like make you change? I mean, make the decision for you to change instead of it coming from internally?
It could lead you to move, but the change has to come internally.
Right, okay.
Because if
with
other people force you to change, how does that make you feel? If, let's say, Terence, you know, you're married to somebody who said, I don't like this about you, I need you to change, and you're a happy person, I don't want you to be happy, I want you to always be serious, around my friends especially. How does that make you feel?
Because then it will be time for a change.
Change or something else. Right.
Then you go for B.
There you go for me.
Yeah, so that is how it's like, because when environment or other people try to force you, there will be even stronger resistance. The internal drive is the most important.
But do not drop it altogether, right? I mean, still play with it and then see, you know, if you can justify changes that you should initiate.
Yes.
Well, Mushida, I like to trail the millionaire mind and like to see how successful people who are already there, how do they look at change? Because they're already successful.
You know, successful people, they're always in a constant state of motion. They're always changing, right? They're always changing. They have their dreams set out. They have their goals set out. When they have accomplished that, they will focus on different things. And successful people, people who are aligned and successful, right? They are always thinking of contribution, right? So they don't think of being stagnant at one point and that's it, you know? They're always contributing, you know? They're always moving forward. They're always having dreams or something that can add positive change, right? And that is what keeps them moving. They recognize that they're never stuck in one place, you know. Like law of physics say when things are motionless, right, you stay motionless. Things in motion will always be in motion. So successful people are always in motion. They are not stuck. If you look at unsuccessful people, most of the time at the age of maybe 65 and above, they'll be like, oh dear, you know, I should have done this, I should have done that. Now I'm old, I cannot do all these things. They're complaining because they could have taken the action before, but they didn't. They stayed on until, you know, they resist that change until they're 65 and above, and in their old age, they're complaining about everything, complaining about everyone, right, is because they are not aligned and they have not fulfilled their purpose to move on towards that change.
But they can still change.
No problem.
No
They can
problem.
still change. Yeah.
Can still change.
Yes, but what we don't want is to be at a stage of at the end of our lives, right? And then we look back. Oh, you know, I missed out on certain things that I did want.
I picked up something interesting from what you were saying just now. Aligned. You kept using that word. Aligned with what actually?
Aligned within yourself, right? What alignment is also balance. Okay, sometimes people when I read alignment, to me it's alignment between body, my heart, my mind, my heart, and my spirit. All right, alignment with my purpose, alignment with whatever that I have set for myself. You know, when people are not aligned, say for example their body, all right, they are carrying out a certain image within, outside. All right, but inside they are different people. They say, "Oh, I'm not this, a sexy woman. You know, I just want to be." For example, like Marilyn Monroe, I just thought about her. You know, she was all the story of Marilyn Monroe. She was not happy because she was not who she was portraying herself to be to the public. Because the public always see her as somebody who's like, oh, pretty, and then, oh, very cutesy, you know, and she's always whispering. She had to put on this image all the time. Can you imagine how tiring that is? If that is not who you are, and then you come back, you get confused. So that is not alignment, right? Same thing like your mind. If your mind is not aligned with whatever it is that you
I think
are supposed to be.
Madonna shared the same thing too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
on the
maybe you can
interviews.
share
Yeah.
with
No, I mean it's basically about the
Basically
same thing.
about
too,
the same thing.
about Marilyn Monroe, because you know the way she worked her way up. And then how she climbed the ladder, especially, you know, from where she started.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you said. Okay, but then we have to take a caller.
Good morning, Mr. Ricky. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
yes.
Okay, I'd just like to ask about change in politics.
Politics.
You change politics every now and then, jumping from party to party.
All right.
What type of change is this?
What type of change is this? Yeah.
That one you
Yeah.
answer.
It's an interesting question.
Can I get a comment?
Okay, you can.
alright,
Thank you. We'll look at it from the, you know,
Mushida.
we won't look at
Yeah,
it
throw that
from,
to me.
we won't look at it from the superficial level. We'll look at it from what's
Maybe in
deep
terms, because
inside.
you were saying that aligning, you know, your
Okay,
mind, your
align
body,
your
and
purpose,
soul.
right?
Yeah.
Why people are not happy or they change a certain situation. I'm not going to say what, you know,
Yeah.
it could be anything.
Anything.
For example, a job, right? Sometimes you feel that you are working a job and so, you can see success, so-called, on the external side, right? You see people who are so successful. They have a big office. They have people serving them in the office, coffee, tea, sweep the floor, everything around them is all done, yeah? But they're still not happy. They're still not happy. They're upsetting their colleagues. They get upset with people, you know? It's because that, you know, they know whatever they're doing now is not aligned with their purpose, right? So in terms of change, it is important for us to go into our self-discovery as well. Understand who we really are, what we really want. You know, that you know, you be able to be self-aware, be more self-aware of who you are.
But just
you know?
to address Eric's question just now, did you see that as a change? I mean, politics, people changing, jumping from one party to another. I mean, do you see
Republican,
that as a
Democrats. I mean,
change?
let's not look here. Look at Republicans to
I mean,
Democrats.
how do you see that? How do you see that? Just one.
What kind of change is
One
that?
word or one phrase or one sentence.
Okay. Well,
Is it a change? It's a kind of change as
It
well.
is a
right?
kind of change because perhaps with that person, I'm not sure, there is a conflict of interest
Right,
within that person's purpose, right? If they see that sometimes you're with a group of friends, you know, I'm just thinking of in terms of social circles,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
with a group of friends that do not serve your purpose, or you are going, maybe you want to move to a different direction in your life and you don't feel comfortable following a group that does not,
Right.
you know, it is time to make a change. Initial change, there will be discomfort in anything that you do, right? There sometimes could be resistance with people around you, your own friends, your own family members. That's why I said self-awareness is really important to be able to know where you're going to go in your life, right? And take that step, all right? And while you go into that transition, whatever steps that you want to change in your life, right? Celebrate every little change that you have, because in your when you make that change, right, there will be some small changes. So celebrate that, right? Write down every small things that make you happy. Write that, and what's that? Acknowledge that change.
Okay, Mushida, we're going to take another caller. Hello?
Hello, Encik Kamal. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Muhammad Kamal from Petaling Jaya.
Hi. Okay, go
Hi.
ahead.
I would like to ask our speaker today. regarding this change, how important is this passion? I've been hearing about, you have to be passionate about something. So, I mean, number one is how passion plays a role in, changing for the better. And secondly, if Tuan Mushida,
Puan Mushida.
would like to share with us what is her current passion actually.
What is her
Thank you
current
very
passion?
much.
Okay,
I'll
all
hear
right.
it on the TV. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Nice
Very
question.
exciting. Okay, passion, all right?
Yeah,
If you
so
do
passionate.
not have passion, how are you going to have that drive to change?
Right.
When you have you have a dream, you want to achieve something in your dream, but the passion is not burning enough, right? It's not strong enough. Whatever little problems that come along the way or risks or failures, or mistakes that happen, not failures, mistakes that happen along the way, you give up, right? So that passion has to be a burning desire, right? To move forward, that help you move forward. You asked me about my passion, okay, what's his name?
Tuan Kamal.
Tuan Kamal, okay. How I started was when I felt dissatisfied with myself in terms of when I speak to people who were like my clients,
Right.
I can just clam up and I'll be so nervous, all right? What I wanted to change about myself initially was just to be able to speak properly in front of 2 to 3 people. So what I did was I had a plan. I improved my speaking skills. I joined some Toastmasters clubs where I met my husband. So 2 in 1, I get something else
Okay,
also at the same
alright.
time.
Bonus,
bonus. Change, it's another change
Yes.
in your life.
So that was a very positive change in my life. And then what happened was I took that step. All right, and I just want to share something with you. When you are passionate about certain changes, you celebrate. Oh, I can now speak in front of 10 people, and then now I can speak in front of 20 people. Just take a little bit of challenge, one bit at a time, right? And acknowledge and celebrate it. And then before I know it, my goals and my dreams have changed, and it has gone bigger and bigger. And now I'm talking in front of, I don't know how many people watch this show.
Well, you're talking in front of
50,000. Oh, yeah.
more than 50,000
Lots of
people.
Yeah. And now, at conferences and all that, I have taken that step. So sometimes when you want to change, it can lead you to something else that you don't even expect. And you embrace that change one bit at a time. So,
Well, fantastic there. We are
Okay.
going to now take a quick look at the polling results and find out what you polled in, what Malaysia most want to change in their
How is
lives.
our audience change?
Job.
Given the choice.
Everybody's satisfied with the people they're with. Congratulations, Malaysia.
Obviously,
Very good.
50% my job. So they're not satisfied with their job.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not really paying very well.
40% car.
Yeah,
and
but if
handphone.
you believe in that, that you need to change your job, then go ahead.
Only
Take
10%
the
want
risk.
to switch their girlfriends and boyfriends.
I don't know
So
why Terrence just want to focus on that B option. Anyway, audience, they've spoken, okay? So it's change. Yeah, we talked about change
Yes.
today, and hopefully, you believe in what you need to do, you need to change. So change people. It won't harm, and just think.
once again, we'd like to thank our
Right.
guest, Mushida, for joining us before we wrap up the show. Take care. Have a
Take
great
care.
day. Salam satu
Bye-bye.
Malaysia. Bye bye Malaysia.